All right, guys. So we're starting our second lesson for this online virtual learning. All right. The name of this lesson is point slope. So what they're doing is they're going to give you a point on a specific line. They're going to give you the slope of the line, and they're going to ask you guys to figure out what is the equation of that line. So I think it was Janai that asked me yesterday during the discussion board, are we ever going to get an opportunity where you got to find an equation without being given a graph? So this is one of those examples. So they give you a point, they give you the slope, and you got to figure out what is the equation of that line. All right, so here's how this is going to work. All right, so if I just read the instructions here, it's going to tell you to write the slope intercept form of the equation of the line through the given point with the given slope. So if we remember, slope intercept form is y equals mx plus b. All right. So there's that equation I told you guys about. All right, you're going to use that pretty much throughout this whole lesson as far as slope and slope intercept and all of those things. So y equals mx plus b. So here's what you got to do. The first step is, and what I like to do, is go ahead and identify everything that they give you. So, for example, we know that 0 is our x, we know that -5 is our y, and we know that slope is our m. Okay, so we know that m equals 3/4. All right, once you identify, the next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and write that equation down. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so you want to write the equation down. Then what you need to do is identify everything. Sorry, not identify. What you need to do is plug in everything that you have. So whatever they're giving you, plug it in. So what I mean by that is this. Our y is -5. All right. We know that our slope is 3/4. And since our equation says mx, that means we're multiplying. So we got to multiply our slope by our x, which in this case is 0. Okay. So plugged in my y. I plugged in my x. I plugged in my slope. But we don't know what b is. So I'm going to keep that plus b. Okay. So what we're going to have to do is, before we can find our line or our equation of our line, we got to figure out what our y-intercept is. So in order to do that, just like we normally would, solve for b. All right. So 3/4 times 0, that's just going to simply be 0. Bring down everything else. Okay. Bring down everything else. Then we're just solving for b. All right. So if we're adding here, you got to do the opposite to get rid of it. So we're adding a 0. We got to subtract a 0. So -0. All right. So -5 minus 0 is just going to be -5, because anything minus 0 is going to be itself. So b is going to equal -5. All right. Now that we got our y-intercept, bring down my slope. So m equals 3/4. Now all we do is this. Now all we got to do is make our equation. Just like yesterday, you got your y-intercept, you got your slope. All you do is now just plug everything in. So if my equation is y equals mx plus b, my new equation when we plug it in is going to be y equals my slope, which is 3/4 x. My y-intercept is -5. And that is my equation of my line. All right. So let's jump on another example. So I'm gonna try to do at least 1 to 3 examples. I'll do 2 examples. All right, so we'll just do 2 examples. Okay. So here's my second example. All right. Again, you want to identify everything that they've given you. All right. We know that this one is x. We know that my other one is going to be y. And then we know that slope is going to be 4. Okay. M is going to be 4. Again, once you have everything that they've given you, we identified everything, rewrite your equation. Y equals mx plus b. Okay. Once we got the equation now, plug it in. All right. So we know that y is 1. So it's 1 equals. We know that m is 4. All right. We know that x is 1. So I'm going to just substitute that 1 there. But we don't know b. So I'll just bring that down. Sorry, that's b. We don't know b. All right. So again, we got to solve for it. We don't know it. We got to solve for it. So the first step to solving for it, we got to multiply these two. So 4 times 1 is 4. Bring down everything else. So it should say 1 equals 4 plus b. Now it's just a simple equation. All right. In order to get rid of that 4, we're adding, so we got to subtract. So we do it on both sides. 4 minus 4 is 0. 1 minus 4. Okay. So if we got 1, we have $1, but they telling us we owe 4. Then we pay our dollar in. We're still going to have to owe 3. So our answer will be -3 equals b. So now that we know that b is -3, I'm just going to simply move down my slope. So m equals 4. All right. Bring down that slope. We got our y-intercept. We can make our equation. All right. So I'm going to rewrite my equation. Y equals mx plus b. But this time, I'm just going to plug in my y-intercept and plug in my slope. So this becomes y equals, my slope is 4. So 4x, my y-intercept is -3. So -3. And that is our equation. All right, so just to kind of quickly summarize it a little bit. All right, first thing you do, identify. Second thing, write your equation. Third thing, plug it in. All right, fourth, solve for b. Once you get your b, bring down your slope, and you just plug in to find your new equation. Okay? All right, I'll try one more. All right, so again, identify. So we know that 0 is x, 2 is y, and we know that slope, or our m, equals -3. Okay, so we got everything identified. Now we're just going to rewrite our equation. Y equals mx plus b. All right, once we rewrite our equation, plug everything in. So our y is 2. Our slope is -3. And our x is 0. And we don't know what b is. All right, once we get to that step, solving for b, first step we got to do is multiply these two. -3 times 0 is going to give me 0. Bring down everything else. All right. Once we do that, solving for b, we're adding, so we got to get rid of it by subtracting. 0 minus 0 is 0. But whatever we do on one side, we got to do to the other. So 2 minus 0, that's just going to be 2. So our b equals 2. Once we got that, bring down my slope. M equals -3. So simple as that. Rewrite our equation again, mx plus b. But this time we're plugging in our y-intercept and we're plugging in our slope. So y equals, my slope is -3. Bring down the x. And then my y-intercept is +2. Okay, so +2. So my equation is y equals -3x plus 2. All right. That is our lesson for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me And I'll get to your questions as soon as possible.